Hey, Kieran, what's up?
Julia, did you hear what they said?
No, what did they say?
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you right now. Meet me in the studio in 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm on my way. I'll see you soon.
Welcome back to That's What They Said, an educationally conversational podcast where we address all the things that aren't in the college brochure.
Episode 2!
Episode 2 of season 2!
OMG.
I am just now realizing that in the episode that dropped when we're filming this, which is on FDoc, we don't address that it's season 2.
Well, because we didn't know it was going to be season 2 until after we filmed and submitted that episode. So.
Whoops, it is.
But wait, guys, in T-minus 7/8 minutes, how about 7.5 minutes?
Sure, I'll give you that.
Episode 1 of season 2 is coming out, and we rebranded, so the new intro is on there, and the new outro, and new album cover, which we did a photo shoot for this weekend, and it was fire. So let us know what you think. I think the colors are slay. I think the vibe
I saw it
is slay.
it's on Spotify already.
Oh my god!
I saw it this morning.
Okay, hold on.
Because I was getting ready to get some music going while I was straightening my hair this morning to pretend that I was awake.
Well, naturally.
And look what is that? But that's what they said. New cover.
I am upset. Oh my god! It looks so good.
It looks so good.
Oh my god! It's pink. Oh my god.
They made it.
Guys,
oh my god! They did make it pink.
Guys, you don't understand. Pink is my girl. That is my girl, and this is just.
And that makes sense for you.
God, thank you. Wait,
It low-key looks so. We're gonna have to do some social media posts after this, but it looks so good.
It does. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, wait. But the question I had that I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
What music do you listen to when you get ready? Because when I wake up in the morning after I rot for 30 minutes,
Sure.
I turn on music while I'm still in my bed to force me to get up.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of music do you listen to?
I used to be a big rotter. I used to spend get up 30 minutes in bed and then would start my day. But
yeah.
Recently I've been prioritizing my sleep over the 30 minutes in bed. So I've made a deal with myself. I'm you can sleep those 30 minutes, but then you have to get up after that. You can't sit in bed.
Yeah.
So I have to go for something hype. So recently I've been listening to me when I forget what it's called and I played it this morning. The escapism, the song was I found myself in a position. The man that I loved wrote it down last night and he told me that it's over. Dumb decision.
Maybe.
I don't want to feel like I did last night. That one?
I don't know.
My voice is not really here yet, so please ignore all of that. Hey guys.
Us when we do a podcast and say just ignore our voices.
Yeah, and maybe if you just don't listen, that'd be great. Anyhow,
cool.
It's the radio for it. And so it's just a lot of upbeat, but I also have been listening to The Night Is Still Young by Nicki Minaj. That
Ooh,
radio.
Canceled.
Yeah. But I'm considering that everything before that is still acceptable.
No, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
It's just the new stuff I'm boycotting.
Yeah.
But that has songs like Man Eater, Rock That Body, Bad at Love.
Okay.
Never Been Like You.
Okay.
That kind of vibe. I need to be up and moving in the AM. Or sometimes I'll go for indie if it's just a little cool thundering morning.
A little gloom.
A little gloom. Then I hit the indie I'm going back to 505.
Yeah.
You see how it be. What about you?
Well, recently, actually, that's a lie. Actually,
at what point between now and then?
No. I mean, it's not even recently. It's just all the time.
So recent.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Recent and historically. I like to listen to podcasts when I wake up because I like to feel I'm because I live alone, so I like to feel I have a little something, little friend, hanging out with a little pal,
That's
just somebody to chat with. No, because hold on, caveat.
Sure.
You know that wooden lobster that I got for Christmas?
Yes, the wooden guy.
Yes, he is I don't know, 1.5 feet tall, and he sits on my windowsill. His name is Timothy, and I
love him.
Love
Shout
that
out
guy.
Tim.
Shout out.
That's Big T over there.
Big T. No, and yes.
I
But okay, I have to speak my truth, and my truth is that I talk to him. When I open my door to my room, I say, "I'm back. I'm home. Timothy, how are you?" I'm not even joking. From the moment I step into my room to the moment I go to sleep, I'm talking to him.
Well, but see, I don't even think people can judge you for that because they be doing that with their fish, and
That's
I feel
true.
like fishes have less personification to them than a wooden lobster.
I would have to agree.
I mess with fish so heavy, but also at the
Yes.
same time, somehow I feel it's just as inanimate as a rock.
Yes,
it's just
because they forget it in 2 seconds. But one thing that I know for sure, Timothy is not forgetting.
Oh, ears open 24/7, 365.
He doesn't have ears.
to your knowledge.
His brain is open. Like, he is ready. He's receiving. Anyway, what was I talking about before that?
Music you listen to in the morning.
Yes, I listen to podcasts. If it's Tuesday, I'm listening to Brittany Broski's Broski Report.
Sure.
But I have recently gotten into Upstairs Neighbors.
Okay. Who is that?
It's a podcast. It's these two girls who live in LA. I am like obsessed with them.
Okay.
Like, you must listen.
What's their thing?
It's like they're like us, but they're allowed to curse and
they're like 25 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, yes.
No wonder you like them. It's us.
It's like they are us.
They are us.
But if we were in LA and we worked for ourselves, like, they're like,
this is us announcing we're leaving. No, I'm kidding. We're moving to
not.
LA.
We're going to LA. And going in with the
Los Angeles effects. You like see our faces for the first time on the pod. It's like us with Botox. Like, all of a sudden we're like,
we're mogging the entire time.
Hello, welcome back to the pod. We're just like, hey guys. Like, how annoying would that be if we did that for an hour? Hot take, very controversial being on my own podcast. I don't listen to podcasts.
Hey, and I don't understand that, but I
have never been one to listen to a podcast, and then I started making one.
Yeah,
not really sure where that came about.
Yeah,
I feel like one of those like Utah moms in 2020 who decided that like she needed to pass time, so she built a podcast studio in her basement. The way that I can't even with myself sometimes. But I never listened to podcasts because my problem was that I had to, like, with music, I listen to it, but also, like, I'm tuning it out half the time. Like, I'm not actually listening to it. I'm just listening to, like, the chorus while I'm doing other things. Whereas podcasts, I feel like I need to actually listen to it to be, like, relevant to the whatever. Because the music I listen to 9.5 times out of 10, it's, like, a playlist that I've listened to, like, a bajillion times over. So I know all the songs on it. Whereas a podcast, in theory, I'm not re-listening to the same podcast episode.
I do.
Which is totally acceptable. But, like, in the journey where I would start my podcast listening, I wouldn't be. And so...
Well, I know I get that, but I like the podcasts that I listen to, I do like tune them out sometimes. Like, that's what, like, Upstairs Neighbors, like, it's just like fun conversation. Like, it's like us, like, I know if people are like listening to us, I'm sure they tune us out. Like, they don't listen to every word we say because we be talking a lot and we say a lot of BS. So it's like,
us? No.
We haven't said anything educational in months.
I disagree.
Okay.
For our sake of the podcast,
continuation,
we are very educational. Thank you.
Guys, you're learning a lot. We are like experts in
You're
everything.
learning personality development.
No, this is true.
You're learning healthy traits and habits. You're learning to not be alone.
We go through things, my hands look like this, so yours can look like that.
Yeah.
Like,
we walk so you could run.
And there you go. Love. Okay, let's do Hello Buffalo.
Over. We've completed our mission.
Okay, bye guys.
Oh my God, my roommates are texting. Turn the music down, please.
Oh,
my bad.
Okay, the amount of scam texts that I've gotten where it's like, okay, let me read this. Hello, this is Natalie Grace from the blah, blah, blah hiring team. We have the perfect position for you. And it's like, work for 1 hour a week and make $8,000. And I'm like, girl.
That'd be so
hello?
real.
I'm not that desperate yet. Like, maybe I'm almost there, but not yet. You know? Like, at least, like, give me some props. Like, I'm not going to respond at this moment.
Yeah, no.
I'll keep that.
I keep getting the spam calls, though. I get, like, at least 12 a day.
Oh, I don't be answering.
My voicemail, I don't answer them, but, like, my voicemail box is up to over 200 because they all need voicemails.
Hello?
And I have over 250 spam voicemails in my inbox.
That is ludicrous. One thing about me is I go through my voicemails and keep, like, the ones that I find interesting. Hold on, let me see what we have in here because there are some good ones.
While you look, I'll give my high-low Buffalo.
Okay.
My low is that low-key it's F-Dog.
Low-key,
yes. It is F-Dog.
It is, in fact, F-Dog.
What is the whole thing now? Low-genuinely?
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 I don't even know what that means.
That's just how I feel when I say that. Low-genuinely. I actually refuse to give it to low-genuinely. Low-key, it is F-Dog when we're filming this, and I have mixed feelings about F-Doc. I would like to believe that I'm excited for this new semester, but honestly, I'm terrified.
No, after opening those freaking syllabus emails this morning, let me tell you, my heartbeat sped up like exponentially.
Let's see, my heartbeat is actually doing just fine right now. I was gonna make a dramatic point, but I can't.
So actually, I
just lie. No, I'm really nervous for this semester. It's supposed to be really busy, and there's just a lot of things happening, and they're all good. Like, it's all good things. It's just quality. A lot of them. Like, today is very busy for me. I'm consistently somewhere from 8:30 this morning until 5 p.m.
Yeah.
tonight.
9 to 5.
Working
Come to my
9 to 5.
come to my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5.
Low-key, I'd be watching those. Can't even
I
lie.
do too, and I'm like, that's gonna be me,
And that's
not me.
I mean, that's me. I'm actually currently in the process of filming my Come With Me for F Doc for the
Is
Instagram.
that for the podcast Instagram?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's not for my own personal benefit.
When you said that, I was like, okay.
No, for the podcast. We talk about increasing our social media presence and making reels, so I said I'll make a reel.
I love that. No, I'll make a reel today too,
Thank you.
but I'll post it tomorrow.
Well, mine was to be posted tomorrow.
Oh, so I'll
because
it's like,
I have
come
to
with me
edit
on my
it
other-
tonight.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll post something today. I'll go in with something today. Yeah. I'm going in with the new post today.
New post New Year. Well, we'll probably have to post something for the pod. Because we
got
just dropped
you,
an
I got
episode. Anyhow, that is so besides the point. My low is that sounds so mean saying low, but my low is F Doc. I just don't.
No,
I just don't. I
that
just
resonates.
like the first week is always the most really stressful for me, and I'm always overwhelmed.
agree.
And within like a month, I'm gonna be so fine. Like it's gonna be okay.
You just gotta get into the schedule.
I just have to get into it, but that also just requires me like getting into it, and so that's
Yeah.
just it's our thing.
Because there's always that fear of like I'm gonna miss an assignment or I'm gonna miss something or like
Yeah.
there's no way I can remember all this.
Trying to build a routine at the same time that
It's
you're
so
supposed to be
hard.
acting like you're already in the routine is
It's
really
so-
difficult.
It's stink in a bad way.
Yeah, stinking in a bad way. My buffalo is that I did walk to the wrong car today, even though I parked my parking spot like in front of my apartment, dead in front of the stairs. Like all I had to
Right.
do was walk straight,
Yeah.
and I walked to the car next to it, thinking it was mine. And I'm like sitting there trying to unlock it, and I'm like, where's the sticker on the front from? Like, I don't have bags in the back. And then I look over and I'm like, oh, hey, oh, awkward. Okay. So that
silly.
humbled me this morning. I was like, I've got to go. Like, I'm done. I walked out of my apartment. That's it for today.
Yeah.
My high. My high, my high is that I'm getting breakfast today with Allie, which is our GM from last year.
Yes.
She did the not the study abroad program, the
IBDD.
IBBD. Thank you.
I booed it.
A
A B C D.
WKNC 1 2 3 ABC. Like she did the IBDD program, so you study at state for 2 years and then you go live in another country for 2 years.
Yeah.
For whatever like major concentration you have, and so she's financed. So she's in Italy. So she's been gone in Italy since like May of last year or something or she actually had an internship of the summer and then she left in like July or something. But we didn't see her. So I haven't seen her in almost a year now. And she's back because they're on break. And so me and her are getting coffee at Jubala.
Aren't we getting dinner on the 22nd?
We are.
Let me actually put that in the calendar because it's not in there and I will forget.
I had to convince Abby to come, who's our advisor.
Oh my gosh, she wasn't gonna come.
No, she wanted to, but she didn't think we wanted her there.
Girl, I would hang out with her socially any day.
Any day of the week. I love Abby so much. I hope that we're actually friends after we graduate and like.
Well, I feel like we're
talk on
actually
the reg.
friends now,
No,
but I feel like
agree.
she's scared and thinks that we aren't. But I can tell you right now, we are friends.
No, me and Abby like go way back, as in like 365 days, but like we go way
Way
back.
back.
She's like my older sister. I love her so much. She's our boss, by the way, so maybe I shouldn't say that. But like
No, that's my girl.
on a super professional level that has never crossed a boundary once, I love Abby more than life itself.
I agree.
But yeah, we're also getting dinner with her in a couple weeks, but that does not correlate to today. But today I'm getting
Anyway.
biscuits and coffee with her.
Oh, those biscuits.
We're going to Jubala. Ooh.
Oh my
I was
God.
listening to our first episode and we literally talk about Jubala and how delicious the biscuits are like in the first 10 minutes of the first
They're
episode.
so bust though.
No, because I said it before and I'll say it again. Jubala, hit us up. We are there tomorrow. We are there today. We are there in 10 minutes. Like,
Genuinely, we're there.
I'm
We're
done.
there.
I'm done. My low is that Lokirk really exists.
Real.
Anyways, so that's mine. Did you find your voicemails?
Oh
or?
yeah, I have a lot of voicemails from my grandma, from my aunt Ness, shout out girl, from my cousin. I have one from an ex-boyfriend.
Sure.
And some from Frank. I think it's just him saying, "Pick up the freaking phone." I just listen to them for fun.
Yeah.
I think they're funny. Anyway, I'll do my high-low buffalo.
Hit it.
Thank you. My buffalo, gotta start with it. I, walking here, saw this young gentleman wearing a hat.
Sure.
And let me start off by saying I am also wearing a hat today for the first time in a while. And I texted Kieran and I was like, I feel like everybody can tell that I never wear a hat. And so they're like looking at me and they're like, oh my God, she never wears a hat. Like she looks so stupid. Like she is wearing a hat and looks dumb. Like, 'cause she
See,
doesn't do
but
that.
with the headphones now too, you are giving like 2012, like meet me in the basement because I'm recording some epic remix
Yes.
for the frat party this weekend. No, because like I would gather around you to be like, you know who it's giving? Becca from Pitch Perfect when she's
Stop.
like in the courtyard like I'm bulletproof, and then it like hits like firework, like you know what I'm saying?
I'm bulletproof.
You know what I'm saying? Where she's
Wait.
like, guys, I actually do this in my free time, and she hits it. It's like, wow, and it like, you know what I'm saying? It's like all the hits of 2012.
Me editing
That's
the
what you
podcast
give.
with like all the like sound clips and stuff.
Like, I gotta
it's
move
like
the
one
sound
file.
up with the one notch.
I just turned the volume up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, wait. Julia will edit the podcast while we usually go to work after this for a media consultant job, and so she'll edit it, but like with the computer so like everybody can hear it. Us and Drew will sit there like just laughing at us and listening to the pod.
It's fun.
It's really funny.
Anyway,
yes,
he was wearing a hat, and it was like a like, you know, the hats that have the big pom pom on top.
Yeah, like
it
a
was like
beanie.
that style hat. Yeah, it was a beanie, but the pom pom was the size of like a craft pom pom. It was like an
like
inch.
a ping pong ball.
Yes. I was
That's
like, what
so
are you
funny.
doing? And like I couldn't tell if he was wearing it in like an ironic way or like an unironic way.
Right.
You know? I'm leaning more towards unironic, which makes it like even funnier.
That makes it significantly
but it was
better.
Also like so adorable. Like I just kind of wanted to go up and be like, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I want to be you when I grow up.
I want to take you and put you in my pocket.
Right.
You are so adorable. You're just a little guy.
Which I think would be really comforting for a stranger to hear at 8 a.m.
No,
so.
right. Well, okay, but if a baddie like me walked up to you and said, hey, you're adorable, I want to put you in my pocket and keep you forever, I would be like,
No, I would
yeah.
never forget that. I would frame it. Like frame the memory on my...
frame the moment.
Yeah,
yes,
no.
core memory.
No, I'm taking a photo with you. Like we're gonna meet up.
Like and you're getting in my pocket.
Oh yeah, I'm travelable. Like I can move. I'm portable.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite things to say. Like when I want to go like do something and they're like, guys, we should like go to this go to whatever today. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm so down. Like I'm literally portable. Let's go. Like I'm on the way.
Go.
Like,
Wait, this is reminding me, and I know that maybe this is not a safe space to talk about this, but
probably not.
Probably not. This is not a safe space. I got the apps back.
You did?
Yes! Literally the day after, I was like, you have to keep me accountable. Like, do not let me get these back until like February. It's the 12th of January.
Literally days later, she sends me a screenshot of something, and I was like, hey, so that's an app.
Well, because I came across my ex-boyfriend and my ex-roommate on there, and I said, oh.
And I said, so that's an app that you're sending me a screenshot of. She said, right. So that's not the point of why I texted you. I was like,
anyway,
right.
But what I was going to say is my go-to like line these days to weed out who can like actually get my humor and understand me and like match me is, can I please turn you into a hamster and put you in a habitat and keep you on my desk forever?
Oh.
Yep. And let me tell you, either it doesn't get a response, which is like, okay, then I don't want you, or the people that respond are my dream soulmate. You know what I'm saying? Like you get, because like you don't understand, like I want you to be a hamster and in a habitat on my desk. Like I don't understand why you would not want that. Like let me
I really resonate with that. Yeah. However, I can't even lie. If somebody who I had never met starts it with, "Can I make you a hamster and put you on my desk?" I'd be like, are you gonna taxidermy me? Like would be my initial like, hey. But also like knowing you and I understand that's a huge compliment. But like as a stranger, I'd probably be like,
no, but that's what I'm saying. Like some people don't get it, and if you don't get it, then I don't want you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
This is a hamster-friendly space.
This is no.
If you don't hamster, I don't want it.
Right.
Live, laugh, hamster on my desk.
Live, laugh, hamster, love. Anyway, so that's love, hamster. So that was my buffalo.
10 minutes later.
Okay. Anyway, my high is that I've been making Valentine's crafts. To give out for Valentine's Day, obviously. And so I've been making these cute little cards that I've been posting on my spam.
I've been seeing.
Guys, send me your address if you want one because I'd be making a lot. And I
was literally about to respond to you with my address, and I was like, let me not. You know where I be.
I do. But I made my own pom poms because I thrifted some yarn the other day, and I put googly eyes on them, and then made little antennas out of pipe cleaners, and put like a little tiny pom pom as their tail, and I'm calling them love bugs.
That is so freaking cute. You should make little swirly like cheek blush out of the pipe cleaners.
They're so cute. They're so cute. And I have this like cute. I thrifted this little like tin box. I think it was like to hold chocolates or something, but it's like really colorful on the outside. Anyway, when you open it up, it has all the all the things that I've finished in it. Like so, it's like filled with like little trinkets and crafts and stuff, so that when I need to give somebody something, like it's like a little occasion, I have my box. Like it's filled with love bugs and like cards.
Love bug
and
is so freaking cute. I want one. I hope that my Valentine includes a love bug.
Hey, maybe you'll get a love bug. Maybe you'll get a love bug. Anyway, so that's my high. My low is I've been having some whack dreams lately.
Same.
And I woke up at 6:30 this morning after having a dream, and I couldn't go back to sleep. So, yeah, I'm actually, it's because as soon as I step foot on campus, or even like I'm within like 30 minutes of my home on campus, like I start having my stress dreams again. You know what I'm saying?
I had one last night.
Which, yeah, and I'm like, okay, so I love all the stuff that I do, and I understand that it's a lot.
And it's also my choice.
Right, it's also my choice. But what I'm saying is, sleep is where I don't have to do anything. So why am I awake working on things if I sleep?
Yeah.
Like, let me not clock it. Like, I can't clock in while I sleep. So I'm losing money and losing sleep. Like,
because I was literally falling asleep thinking about our hiring process that I need to or that we need to start working on. Because, and I've been thinking about that for like the past week. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, we were literally talking to some of our bosses about it the other day, and they're like, we hadn't even remotely considered that yet. I was like, I've been thinking about it for 2 months. Like, I don't.
No, that's true. I have been thinking about, because I volunteered to work on one of the new projects we're doing at work, and I need to write a contract.
Yeah.
And I literally, in my dream last night, was writing a contract, and I was like, oh, we gotta include that, and it did give me some good ideas. So thank you, but also
at the same time,
let me rest, because I'm not clocked in. Genuinely, I am working without getting paid, so let's not do that.
Yeah.
You know.
No, my dream last night, I think, you know how I was talking about how I think dreams mean something?
Yeah.
I think my dream last night was that I was really scared for my performance because I was back in band class. And my professor, or not my professor, my conductor. My teacher, my conductor.
Me when I build things.
Right. Okay, Bob. Was criticizing my performance because I wasn't playing well, and then I was just sitting there just staring because I was like, oh my god, I'm nothing, I'm bringing down the whole, because I was in the front of the whole entire class for playing, having a playing test or whatever.
That is so sad.
So I was like, ugh.
Wait, I just thought of another buffalo that I was gonna say, but I had forgotten about it.
Yeah.
I went to my internship yesterday for the first time since last semester, and one of my kids was they were talking about some tea, and I walked up and I was like, hey, how y'all doing? And we're talking about some tea, and I was like, oh my god, guys, what is the tea? Tell me. They're 6th graders, and I was like, what is it? What is the tea? And Queen was like, well, I broke up with my boyfriend last summer, and he texted me the other day and said he wants to get back with me, and he's gonna ask me on Monday. And I was like, oh my god, do you want to get back with him? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, well, why'd you break up? And she's like, I don't remember. It's real as freak. You are so real. I don't remember.
I want to be her when I grow up.
No, I know. And then later at dinner, I was like, are you guys excited for the new semester to start? Are you guys excited to go to class tomorrow? They started last week, but I, still whatever. And she was like, yeah, I'm really excited. And I was like, girl, I'm excited for you. Next Sunday, I am sad. As soon as you get in, I need to know what happened.
Buy me first.
Are we back together? Did he apologize? And I just but then also I'm I'm talking to a 6th grader about her boyfriend, and I, who am 20, who am 20, has less game than she does. Hello?
No, because my 14-year brother started dating, and I was like, all right, let's take it out a notch. Because, hey,
let's calm down. No need to rub it in my face.
We get it. I'm a loser. Next question.
Right. Whatever.
That one.
Hey, but you know what? They don't have a podcast.
They don't.
They don't have a podcast.
With a global following.
Yeah. How about that?
So, next question.
Next.
What's your high? You did 2 buffaloes and a
my
low.
Valentine's.
That was your high?
That was my high.
Did you do a low? You didn't do a low.
Oh my god, did I not?
No. You did 2 buffaloes and a high.
I thought my low was my stress dreams.
Oh. I thought that was your buffalo.
No, my buffalo is the hat.
Oh, I'm back with it now.
Okay, guys.
So moving on to the main content. Today we're talking about media consumption,
and this is kind of all over the place. But I just came up with it 20 minutes ago or 23 minutes ago, right before we started filming. So
we're really put together. We are.
Oh no, right. This is the system, guys. This is what we do every time.
And you'll see it on the F-Talk vlog that I put out tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
So get pumped.
Well, I guess come along for the ride. Come with me to...
Going in with the F-Talk vlog. I can't. The first thing we have is thrown tons of emails.
No, I didn't know what thrown tons of emails was.
Right, I did write that. I was talking about how I feel during the semester, I get hundreds of emails, and most of them are about nothing of anything.
I agree.
In college, in high school, I definitely got emails, but it was mainly just my teachers being assignment due tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that was it. Whereas like in college, it was like my professors, each of them all like at this point, not 5, are emailing twice a week.
Yes.
And then also I get an email every single time someone posts on a discussion board.
Oh
and
my
then
God, that
also
is so annoying.
pissing
Because
me
I
off.
never check a discussion board after I turn it in. Because I am turning it in for the grade.
Yes.
Right.
My favorite is when 7 people have to be like, same problem here. And then someone's like, same problem here. And they're like, me as well. I'm like we got it the first time when someone asked the question. They're going to respond.
Like if you don't have an
read
answer.
the freaking answer. Like, oh my God. Anyhow. There's those, and then there's always like the 7 different newsletters we're all automatically subscribed to, but then also somehow the New York Times has my information.
No, but also I feel like we can't complain about the newsletters because half of them come from student media where we work.
Well, yeah.
So then it's like, but I also, like, there's so many.
There is. There's just in general, there's always a ton of emails being thrown at you, and something has something with someone.
Yes.
And what kind of sucks too is there's always something kind of important, at least one of them.
Right,
but it's
so
like,
you have to look at all of them.
You have to actually look at it every now and then. And so like, sometimes I usually just like in the morning will go and I like clear them all out, but then sometimes I'm like, okay, wait, let me like
actually look.
read everything. But I feel like there's tons of media being thrown at me, especially like on email, but then also on social media, and then also like on like my personal day-to-day life, but then also like on the TVs, but then also like everywhere I go there's some information about something, but there's also a different expectation of what that something is supposed to look like and or what you're supposed to be doing on every platform.
Well, let me tell you something. I
need to know.
I feel like perhaps if one of my roles was not to manage social media accounts and email a freak ton of people, then maybe I would be able to avoid the media that is constantly being thrown at me. But one thing that I have to do is email at least 15 people a day. Yes. And like that is like not even at work, like outside of work to manage the different leadership roles that I have to email like 15 people, send multiple group me messages, text all these people, like, and I have to, like, I manage Instagram accounts and Facebook accounts, and I manage my own LinkedIn, but you know, you got to be on that grind. So like, I like my job and part of my responsibilities is media. And like marketing, I guess. But like, bro, sometimes I just need to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb, but I can't because people like need me at any time. Mainly like at any time. Like which I am like honored to be the person that people reach out to. Like,
but at the same time, when 20 of us all need something from me tonight.
And like when like right now, my texts, I have a bunch of unread ones that are like, when are you free? How about dinner here? How about lunch then? Like on Friday I've got like coffee, lunch, gym, dinner. Like I like
wow.
You know, like but I like am happy that my friends and like people in my life reach out to me to like talk to me about things or like work through something or like, can you help me with this or like all that stuff. But bro, I am so sorry if I don't respond to you for days because I just can't. Like but I will, and I'm thinking about it. Like it's ruminating in my head.
It's
like,
just trying to find the space to put you.
Yes, and like the Google Calendar is full already, and I haven't even like gone to a class yet. So like let's just like take a step back, you know?
No, because I have had people in the past be like, hey, like we should get dinner, and I'm like, right, how do you feel about 5 to 6 on Wednesday in 2 weeks?
Yes, and then I must leave at 6. Like I have to be somewhere at 6:05.
Yeah, like it's just ridiculous.
Yes.
My problem isn't necessarily that because I don't have many people reaching out to me, so feel free to hit me up sometime.
Well, I don't have any free time, so.
Well, don't reach out to me then, Julia, but everybody else, please note that
we spend like every day together.
No, I know. Well, that's why I'm not worried. Is like I'm scheduled to see you every single day.
Right. Like we have 2 jobs together and we gym together every day for about 2 hours.
And then we also have 2 classes together.
And
so
there you go.
I will be seeing you every single day of the week, and I'm not complaining whatsoever.
And there you go.
But everybody else in my life, please hit me up. Please. Haha. Anyhow, my main media consumption problem is just like a lot of my stuff rolls into other things. So it's like you said, even when I'm not clocked in, I'm clocked in because like the stuff at work takes so much brain power and decision making, and I'm working on it. Like I'm working on applications for stuff and like making packages and stuff like that, and that's stuff that I have to be doing outside of my work time. But then also like I'm doing work at work, but also having to think about making sure to plan for work at work, and then also we're scheduling things for our job here, and then also for the contra stuff, I have to make sure I have things and the money and like it's just like I'm constantly like something of something with someone about something. So
but also I feel like I like also love being busy, and like I love when
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I love when I run into somebody that like is in one of my clubs or something, or that like I do something with on campus and they're like, hey, and they ask me a question, I'm like, Yeah, actually, let me check really quick. Like, I like kind of love being
knowledge
the one.
is power.
Yeah, like I love being the one that people are like, like running into someone and they're like, oh, like,
Let me ask Julia.
have you talked to have you talked to this person? Like, have you got an email? I'm like, you know what? Let me send that email really quick, and I just send an email. You know what? I like love being that person.
No, it's really empowering.
It's,
like,
it's
I
really
love
fun.
It.
Like, guys, come on. And I love like recognizing people on campus which comes from doing so many different things. Like, I love running into people, or like when I'm walking with like one of my friends and I run into a bunch of people while just walking across campus. And I'm like,
it makes me feel like, sorry, I know them. I just have to go talk to them real quick.
Like, I'm just like a famous podcaster on campus. Like,
you know how it is.
You know.
Oh my gosh, I had to explain to my dad what tabling was yesterday.
I like to forget that that's maybe not a term that people use off college
No,
campuses.
there was a lot of things because he was like looking through something for me and he was like, what is this? Or would put a question mark next to it and I was like, no, this is a thing. Like, I promise. I'm not just like making up words.
You don't get it.
Anyhow, going in after that is the we have a professor who sent out an email about 3 days ago to be like, welcome to spring semester. Tell me why it was 8 scrolls long and then also was color coded on every single word. And then also there was a bullet point within a bullet point within a bullet point. Talk about media consumption. I think I like expanded my vocabulary by 7 different languages by the end of it.
And I resonate with using different colors and bold but if every sentence like has something like that, then that takes away the importance of like using bold and colors and stuff, because like that's like to draw your attention to specific phrases. Like it's not consumable to have that like everything be bold and underlined and
different font size
and red and like hello.
The only thing it's drawing my attention to is the close out button on the corner.
Real. I read through that syllabus so long. It is so long.
Yes.
But I read through and put in every like assignment and exam into my Google Calendar so I can share it with you so you don't have to.
Love.
But it was just like, what are we doing? But I get it because that class is biz law. So like the whole thing is contracts and freak, but like it, like we don't have to make the syllabus a contract, buddy. We haven't even gotten to the class yet.
Every single person I talked to is like, wow, that's the worst. I actually barely passed it. I'm like, you can't tell me that. I don't really have time for that.
I feel like in my heart that it like stats was hard for me, but I feel like this won't be as hard as stats.
As long as one of us understands it, we're fine. I think because that's basically what happened to stats. As long as one of us understood it, we were fine.
I think we're chilling because I feel like I understand it. Because I like. This is like my strength. Like this type of class is my strength. So never fear. I got you.
Julia is here.
Never fear. Julia is here.
Yeah. I can't.
Anyway, yeah. Wow.
Another thing we have is the influencer ego boost. Again, on a bullet point that I wrote, so it probably doesn't make much sense to others.
To others, me, the only other person on the document. Right.
My dash is everyone has the phase they try to be the next Mr. Beast. Parentheses, we are in that phase right now.
Yeah, I added the we are in the phase right now.
And that's really funny. I, especially in college, I feel like with all of the different like ambassador programs, everybody is the next Alex Earl. Everybody is the next Mr. Beast. Everybody is, why is Lenke? We've dispersed your student loan. Oh.
Thanks.
Okay. Anyways. But
anyway.
Everybody's trying to be the next everything. And it sucks because like low-key so am I. But like.
But it's okay when we do it.
Yeah.
No, but okay, what I put on here is like, well, what I had in my head when I wrote something else is like I feel like the concept of like everybody's trying to be an influencer is like annoying kind of, and like you're kind of like when you see somebody else posting, you're like, oh, that's like low-key embarrassing. But then it's like, but when I do that, because I do that as part of one of my like some of my responsibilities, like I don't want people to think that I'm embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's embarrassing when other people do it. But then it's like people are like, all the people that have like blown up on Instagram or whatever, they're like, just stop being afraid, just do it. Just do it. But I feel like there's so many influencers that just do it and like don't get any followers and then they're just embarrassed. So it's like you take the risk of being embarrassed to strike it big. But like but
also at what cost?
But also at what cost? Because like I don't want to be humiliated. But also one thing about me is I do be posting a lot on my personal accounts anyways. So it's just like
gives into it.
Yeah, I think just the only thing that is like an obstacle for me is posting reels.
Yeah.
Because like posting reels on your personal account is like, okay, that is a step towards you're trying to be an influencer. But like, what if I just want to talk and I want people to listen?
I think it helps that we are a podcast account. So in theory, all of our reels make sense because it's just a continuation of what we're doing.
That's what I'm holding true in my heart. Yeah. Like, let me make whatever reel I want on our podcasting account, and it's okay because we're podcasters.
Yeah, and also we can be a little more just like whatever there. Like, we can talk about whatever. Like we were talking about this, me and Julia were the other day about like what we want the reels to be. After Julia was like, we should do reels. I was like, you might be onto something there.
Wait.
Yeah. So it was just more like, it's just whatever we want it to be. And so it's like, hopefully it's a little bit more of a segue into us hitting it big, but it's like, because we're getting paid to do it. LOL. Living large out here.
Yes.
Loophole and scamming the system. Like,
we scroll on Reels and get paid.
have you seen those like the things where it's like, I got
Research.
paid $800 to scroll for 5 hours?
Like, girl, I do that for free.
Like, what?
I do that for free.
Oh, but also sign me up? Question mark.
Question mark.
Question mark.
Silly. Okay, wait. What else do we have? Types of people. Oh, I put types of people we see on socials because I find this fascinating. Okay, here's the ones that I just wrote down really quick.
Okay.
So there are the people that you meet in the bathroom at parties.
Yes.
Junior, that frat party that we went to last semester, we met those girls and we exchanged.
They asked for our social media.
Could not tell you who they are. Like if I went through my following, could not tell you who they were.
No idea. They probably unfollowed me at this point.
Oh, yeah. I like to think that they didn't. Like I feel like there's some sort of like social contract of when you meet a girl in a bathroom at a party where it's like you're like locked in. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of people that follow each other on Instagram, I got followed by a comedian. I went to a comedy show and the comedian. I went to a comedy show and the comedian followed me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And reposted my story.
And yeah.
So basically, I'm gonna be big.
You are Mr. Beast.
You all are not ready for this. Like,
you are silly.
Apparently, because they followed me. I was like, God. Anyhow, who else do you see?
People from classes that you end up dropping after a week. I've met people like in classes, the girlies that are like trying to be like proactive and like take initiative. Like you sit next to them on the first day and they're like, hey, like what's your like social? We should like start like a study group. And you're like, yes. And then you like as soon as you get out of class, you drop the class.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're like feel like low-key a little bit bad, but then it's like, whatever. You know, a follow is a follow. Then there's people from classes that you were still enrolled in but never went to. That occurred to me last semester in my, what class was that? Supply chain and operations. Yeah. My queens that I sat next to for the first like few weeks, we're gonna keep each other accountable, like come to class, you know, whatever. And then we followed each other on Instagram, exchanged numbers, whatever. And then we like slowly started not coming to class. And then I would text them and be like, hey, like we should study instead of going to class. And then suddenly we stopped studying too together. And then like I never saw them again, but they'd be commenting on my posts. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Good enough for me.
And one of them just got a boyfriend and she's been posting him so much and I'm actually low-key. No, I like, you know, it's like being stabbed in the heart, but also I'm really happy for her. You know, because they're like really cute and she's really sweet. So, and then you have the mutual friends of mutual friends. Yeah. Like I went contra dancing on Saturday night. And while I was there, it's like in Carborough, which is by Chapel Hill. And while I was there, I was dancing and I come across this young gentleman who I'm like, I think I follow you on Instagram. So we're in the middle of like dancing, like he's doing like whatever. And I'm like, I follow you on Instagram. And then he was like, what? And I was like, I follow you on Instagram. And he was like, and then like we kept dancing. Then we ran into each other later in another dance. And he was like, I do know you. Like I do follow you. And I was like, wait, okay. I could not tell you his name, but I know I have seen him on my feed before.
No, because the way that I network at social events is ridiculous. And it's like, whenever social events professionally or like at like something for work, it's which is also professionally now that I think about that, whatever.
I think about it.
Yeah. It's always like someone's birthday and I'm like, oh my God, girl, like you're so funny. Like we should exchange Instas.
Yes.
Yars. Yars. Used to say that. Like I put in the work, put in the hours, taking what's ours. I freaking love saying that, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, weekends out.
So on that notes app, my first bullet point is that I hate Julia and I'm dropping out of the pod.
Oh, right. Season 2, episode 2, we're done.
Oh my gosh, wait, hold on. Well, this is also a notes app, but this is like, wait, I have 2.
Okay.
1, speaking of like people in class who we see and then whatever, I don't think I told this story on the podcast, but I think I've told you this story before, but stop me if I have. Well, don't but you know.
Right. Anyway.
I'm so gone today, guys. Like I got 7 hours of sleep. I can't. There was this guy that I went to high school with.
Okay.
Who was in my calc class.
Yes.
Like a year ago or whatever. And in high school, he was like the kid. Like he was so popular. He was on the football team. He was like 6 foot tall. Everybody wanted him because he like went to the gym and he was like one of those like 10 people who actually went at the age of 15.
I thought I knew who we were talking about, but then you said 6 foot tall.
No, you don't know this person.
I was like, no, that's not what I thought.
But they were like all of the girls, like all the popular girls dated him, like you know. But he's actually been with his girlfriend for like 4 years now. So and she's a year older, so props.
Dang.
Anyhow, I'll give him that.
Love.
Whatever. He was like on all the parties in high school, whatever. he was in my calc class, and so he's also in a fraternity now, shocker. And he was at the time. He was like a pledge then. And so I like saw him and I was like, that's kind of funny, like random that we're here. But he's in class, and tell me why he pulls out a spiral notebook, like a 5-subject spiral notebook for this calc class. Colored pencils, colored pens, and highlighters.
Yeah.
And he's like color coding his calc notes.
And maybe I love him. Maybe I love him.
I laughed out loud in my calc class 5 rows behind him, because the idea of this macho man who was all that in high school having to highlight his calc notes.
That's a diva.
With a pink highlighter and like a darker pink pen was sending me.
Yes.
I was laughing so hard.
Diva.
So that really got me.
Wait. New term that I've come across. Okay. Devo.
Devo. Is that like a male diva?
Male diva. Devo.
Okay.
He's a devo.
He's a devo. Wait, I'm kind of into it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's a devo. Also, a new phrase that I'm kind of loving is in a big way. We're filming the podcast in a big way. Like, we're going to work in a big way. You know, like, that just makes it more exciting. Like, let me add some whimsy to my life in a big way.
That's how I say what I like. A couple of actually just one of my friends. I was gonna say a lot of people. I have this one friend who, whenever we always say like I love you before we like end a call or like say goodbye on text or whatever. But we say love you so big.
Love you.
Instead of like so much, it's so big.
Yes.
And it'll be like love you so big.
Love you so.
Love you so bigger.
Love it.
Love it so big.
Love you so big.
I love saying that.
Wait, can I just say one more thing that I'm like, well, this is kind of a little bit of a notes app, I guess. So since we're in that section, one of my New Year's resolutions is to give more notes to people and like give my crafts out. But one of my other New Year's resolutions is one thing about me is I use a lot of like endearing terms for people. You know,
I would agree.
Like I call people honey a lot, and you know, but I like hold myself back when I'm meeting new people because I'm like, oh, like I don't want to like
let me not.
Yeah. But I think my truth is that I need to live my truth, and my truth is that I will call you a sweet pea and a sugar plum when I meet you, because you are like if I had gone up to that man with the hat with the pom pom on it, I would say, hey, sweet pea, you are so adorable. Like, I love your hat. Like, let me live my truth. Like, that is what I need to do, because that is like who I am. Like,
well, and honestly, it makes me feel like that's a bigger compliment than I think the compliment itself. Like, I love doing it. I love when people say that to me. Like, I love saying it to people. I had a phase where I called everybody babe.
Yes.
Which did run me into a couple issues.
No, that's a little scary when it's like a guy that has a girlfriend, you know?
But yeah, I didn't use it with I just used it with this like straight guy friend that I had. And I was like, hey babe, like what's up? And he was like, what did you just call me?
And they take it the wrong way.
And I was like, okay, like let's not.
Yeah.
I've said it to everybody we've ever talked to when I'm in the same room with you. Like we are aware that this is a thing I say.
Right.
Next question. But I do love using like
yeah, no, well, I love it because like when I love using it on my friends that are like straight men because I'll be like they'll like hand me something, I'm like, thanks honey, and they're like, I forget that like straight men don't get a lot of compliments, because I'm like, oh, I love you, sweet pea, and then they're like what? Like they're like faces, they turn all red and they get all like they get all giddy, and I'm like, oh my god, that is adorable. Like, let me love you.
Let me love you. Let me love you.
I don't know. I just love
You love
that.
love?
Like, guys, I love love. No, but like, genuinely, I love to love people.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
let me love you. Let me give you a tiny craft. Let me call you a sweet pea and a sugar plum, and I'm happy.
I think that's why we also get along so well, is we just love to compliment each other.
Right.
So, like, you look so cute today. You look so cute.
Hey, stop.
We're actually so loud. I just took my headphones off.
Oh my god. I'm scared.
Jamie walked by.
No, I know. I saw somebody walk by.
Well, what's funny is we are filming this at like 8 in the morning. Well, we started.
So it is gonna be 9:30.
Well, we started at 8:30, so or 8:45 or whatever. But we got here early, so like not even any of our bosses had clocked in yet. Like our literal advisors, who are paid employees, like we are here, and so like we opened. We did our opening shift. Stop. we did our opening shift, and so like we're watching our literal bosses, who like are full-time employees who could easily get us fired, like walk in and just be like, what are they doing?
Hey,
in there?
we're on the grind.
No, we are on the grind.
Get us fired now. We're here and
we're
ready
the number
to work.
one pod. Like, don't even.
I've already worked over my hours for this job this week, and it's Monday.
Yeah, we're about to get in trouble. It's gonna be bad. Maybe we should talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Thoughts and feelings. Anyhow,
anyway,
my other notes app that I was gonna say that's actually not on our list. I have so many for today.
Okay. I have another one that I really need to have a discussion.
You can
about.
go after me.
Okay. Well, right. Who else to go? No, you guys listening, you go next. You go next. We'll sit in silence and you go.
Yeah. Perfect. We just add an extra 10 minutes of silence at the end for you guys to talk to yourself.
No, because this is a safe space.
No, but it's just us like laughing every like minute and a half.
We're like, no, you're so right.
Girl.
Yes.
No way.
No, I was about to say that.
Oh my God, you're onto something with that. We should talk more. I can't. Something that, speaking of like, when you're like, yeah, we know about like habits that I have, that reminded me of this past weekend. I was with some of my really good friends and I was at Chapel Hill. And so I was meeting one of my friend's new boyfriends. And
what?
You don't know them.
Oh,
sorry.
For some reason, I was like, I knew that Sarah was dating somebody. I was like, so it has to be Ian. And I was like,
no.
That can't be. That cannot be.
Ian, my context, Ian, my friend. There's multiple Ians that I'm friends with, by the way, so I just like to leave them all in mystery about which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just a very straight man who is like
he's the straightest man I've ever met in my life.
Super like Cars and like Star Wars.
Oh my
and
God.
the idea of him having a boyfriend was so.
I would love that. That would make me so happy.
I'll let him know. And yeah, so I was with one of my friend's new boyfriends who is not Ian or Sarah, who is also in a happy relationship.
Love.
Was meeting their boyfriend, and they throughout the night kept being like, oh my God, you know who Kieran reminds me of, like, to my face? And they'd be like, so and so, and they'd be like, oh my God, yes. And I was like,
oh my God.
Which, like, I was like, I don't know who that is. Like, what does that mean?
Is that good? Is
no,
that bad?
And they kept me on, like, you know who she also reminds me of? But they did, like, low-key get tipsy, and they were like,
oh, no.
Kieran, you're, like, the most hilarious person I've ever met. And I was like, wait, okay.
Wait.
So, but then I literally went up to them, and I was like, who is this person? Like, who are you telling me that I'm in, like, and it's like a good thing. Like, should I leave? Like, am I embarrassing myself? And they're like, no, like, we love her. Like, she's my best friend. And I'm like, okay. But then they would like pull other people. I was like, I don't know what any of this means. Like, yeah. So that was just really getting me, because I was like, when people are like, yeah, we know, I'm like, oh my God, you hate me. And then they're like, wow, you're like this person that we know. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what you want me to do with that information, but okay. Anyhow, I was just thinking about that. What did you feel so passionately about?
I have written down here pasta.
Yeah.
Now, I sent a reel to someone yesterday, and it was a freak, marry, kill situation, and it was 3 different types of pasta.
I feel so passionately about pasta shapes. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so, but sit with me here.
Sitting.
They said which one they would marry, and it was penne, and I was like, okay, what would I be if I was pasta? The answer better be penne.
First off, you saying penne is sending me. It's penne.
Penne.
Okay,
whatever. Anyway, so, but then I was like, I don't think actually that I would be penne.
As like you're married, or what you would be?
No, like what I would, like, realistically,
you low-key give me like
be?
lasagna noodle.
Really?
Yeah. Or hold on. Okay, wait. I could like argue a lot of different shapes here. Like I could low-key give you farfalle, which is bow tie.
That's what I was gonna say.
I could give you farfalle. Yes. I could also give you. Yes. I could give you lasagna noodle, low-key.
Yeah.
And the reason I say lasagna, let me clarify, because that could be taken a lot of different ways, is not because I think that you're large, is because I think
it's because you're so big.
You're not large. No, it's because that I think that you encompass so many things, and I think that 1, you're very versatile, and 2, I think you encompass a lot of bases, which is what a lasagna noodle does.
Yeah.
But I also think that you have a lot of funk to you, but not like in a gross way, but like in a fun, unique,
the curve
like,
edge.
Yeah, like, the curve edge specifically is like, that's what I was referring to, is the funk. Like you, but you're also such a classic. Like you are something that everybody loves.
Wait.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like you are just so like my comfort food, my comfort home, my comfort space. Like you are a lasagna noodle, because like I never have to be in the mood for lasagna to want lasagna.
Wait.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like if anybody was ever like, we're having lasagna tonight, I would literally be ooh. But like I would never know that I needed that until like.
Yes.
But you're like the same way, like I will always love you, and I never have to think about loving you to know that I love you and appreciate you. Do you know what I'm saying?
I love.
So that's why I think you're a lasagna noodle.
I like that.
So, but I also could argue bow tie for a lot of the same reasons.
Yeah, no, I like the little bit of fun.
A little bit of fun, but also again a classic. Everybody loves a bow tie, and everybody loves Julia. Like I,
oh my
you
God,
know what I'm saying?
Guys.
What else could I argue that you are?
Wait, I just need to say one thing while we're talking about this. I just came to my mind. You said some word that reminded me. That picture that you took of me stretching. Do you know how badly I want to post that?
I'm putting it on my spam.
It is.
You look so bad.
My body, so tea. So
there's this trend on TikTok right now, so I don't know if you've seen it, because it
I don't have TikTok.
I don't know if it hits the reels yet. But it's supposed to be like rock steady. You can see it from the back, and it's like, but basically it's like a picture of you, like from the, like just you, and then when you go to the next slide, it's like you looking so tea, or like specifically in the curves of the lower half of your body.
Yeah.
that photo applies to that trend.
Guys,
because the way that I saw it, like literal indenture, I was like, that's a piece of fruit.
Okay, wait.
That.
There's a picture of me from, we did Ocean Isle, my friend group and I did like last semester for Labor Day? I don't know. But it's like I'm laying on my side on the beach and I didn't know this picture was being taken, but Frank is behind me and he took a picture of me like laying on my side from the back. Why?
She a baddie, she knows she a 10.
No, I don't think that my bottom half has ever looked that good. Like I have got to show you that picture. Like I just like yes, genuinely. But God. I can't be posting that because it's like just my lower half and like that. Okay, so like that is way too much of a thirst trap even for me. But like I just like,
I need it though.
No, right. I just think like when I come across those pictures that I wasn't like they're like actually candid, but I look so tea. I'm like, wait, guys,
I'm a baddie,
guys.
Speaking of gyat, one time my A-push teacher told me I had a gyat.
Oh.
And he didn't know what it meant.
Oh.
And so the entire class was like,
hey, buddy.
What?
Hey, buddy.
I don't know if I've shared this story on the pod or not, but I know that I've shared it with you. Well, there's going to be a second story that goes into this.
Okay.
One of my nicknames in high school was the girl with the butt.
Oh, you did share this on the pod.
I shared it on the pod. Okay,
yep.
Yeah. So the recap, in case you haven't seen it, there was a collection of people who referred to me as the girl with the butt.
Right.
And a lot of people were very upfront about the knowledge that I do have a little bit of junk in my trunk. Which, like, heck yeah. But also at the same time,
like, hey, my eyes are up here.
Like, and also on the other side of me. Like, let's talk about this. But I'm also not lacking in the top half. Like, the spice racks are very full with flavor, you know.
Girl, me too.
So, but not about, like, I'm not complaining.
No,
like,
right.
It's
like,
my
thank you.
biggest ego boost.
Thank you.
Anyhow, so this is a thing that is just keeping in our back of my mind. Or in A-push. Or maybe it's not A-push. It was either A-push or my, like, personal finance class. I think it was my personal finance. It was my personal finance class, my senior year. Finance. It was my econ and personal finance class. Same teacher though. And I was like, "Yo, can I go to the bathroom?" And he was like, "Yeah, you got to go." And everybody was like,
"Hello,
what?" Because he was like, was like, "Yeah, isn't that a thing now? Gyat, like, don't you got a gyat? Like, you got to go, like, you got." And they were like, No.
Do not say that.
Don't do it. Like,
don't say that.
No. And I was like. Okay. And everybody just kind of like looked at each other and they're like, so that's not.
Oh, that's not.
And then they're like, hey, so you actually just told her that she has a fatty in the back. And he was like,
oh.
So looking at the board now, we're going to look at the economic downfall of 2008 during the housing crash. And we were like, ah. So biggest compliment, I guess. But also at the same time.
That's crazy, actually.
Wait, so what pasta shape do you think I'd be?
Okay, that's what I was just thinking. Yeah. You know those like.
I'm scared. I'm already scared and insulted.
No. Yeah. Okay, there's two that I'm sitting with here.
Okay.
One is like a stuffed pasta shell.
Yes.
I think yes.
Okay.
And then also, hold on, I forgot. Oh, like the noodles that are like kind of like they're like long and like this thick, and they're like in like little balls. You
like
know,
the nests.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could also see that.
Any reason, or is it just because I'm large, or?
No, what? No, please.
No. I know.
No, I don't know. I just like something about me is I feel these things, but I don't have a reason. Like I can just feel these things in my heart. Like if I say a truth, it's because it's right in my heart, and I just am telling you that is correct.
Okay.
I think it's because I like both of those things. Sure. Like those are my go-tos. Like give me a stuffed pasta shell. I'm like
sad.
I was about to say something I was gonna say going down on that, but
taking it down,
scarfing, eating up.
No crumbs.
No
Not
crumbs.
A noodle left behind.
A bite was taken, yes. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I think you would be. And just like one last thing for my notes app. Same thing, but what kind of cat would I be? Because I was recently told that I'd be an orange cat. And I was like
I would second that.
I had never thought about that before because I'm so introverted, but also in the past like 2 years I've like really come out of my shell. Mm-hmm. And I'd be talking all the time.
Your pasta
and, like,
shell?
Yes, out of my lasagna noodle. And I like as we can tell by the fact that my go-to pickup line is "Can I turn you into a hamster?" I do think that I am kind of.
You give orange.
I give orange. I'm kind of.
Hold on, I need to Google cat types before I answer this.
I don't know. Like I just think I'm just. I don't know. Like I am kind of weird, and I think that's okay.
Wait.
And I think I am orange cat.
Wait, I have a lot of answers for this question.
Of what you would be or what I would
know what you would be.
Uh-oh.
My first would be a cat with very large eyes, i.e. this one.
Oh?
Like Piss.
My God.
There is a cat that we know named Piss. You are Piss. Like you are Piss.
Thank you.
You know, but it's like those gray cats with the really large eyes.
Yes,
That's what I would give you as one of them.
Okay. Okay.
Or like I think they're called ragdoll cats.
Yes.
You would be a ragdoll cat.
Real.
You would be a ragdoll cat. I also you're gonna be kind of insulted by this.
Oh, go ahead.
I could give you a furless cat.
I love those.
Okay, perfect.
I love this.
It's a love and a hate, so I wasn't sure where this was gonna fall.
I love.
I could argue that you're a furless cat.
Okay.
I could
Perfect.
like, and I yeah.
I can. Yeah.
But I also think that you have a long, luscious tail, like as like the cat that you'd be.
Yes.
Like that's kind of going back to like the cats that like the grumpy cat almost.
Yeah.
But not grumpy like grumpy, but like the
Yeah,
same
but, like,
the build of the grumpy cat.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. So like
yeah,
an orange grumpy cat with a fluffy tail.
yeah, and big eyes.
Yes.
I stand
Okay.
by the big eyes on all matters.
Yeah.
But with the spirit of a furless cat.
Yeah.
Or hairless
no,
cat.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe like I lose my fur like every summer. And
Yeah,
it goes
yeah,
back.
you shed a little bit.
Yeah.
'Cause you're
I
just,
show.
you're an adapter.
Yeah.
You adapt to the
Yes,
seasons.
I'm very
yeah.
flexible.
Wait,
I'm very
so
flexible.
what cat would I be? Or I'll take dog. You can give me like an animal or something.
Let me look up types of cats too, because I need because I was just thinking color wise. I wasn't even thinking I just looked up types. I didn't even say of cats. Types.
I think color wise, I would give you calico. I would give you the orange, black, and white cat.
Okay.
I feel. Or like a Siamese. Like honestly,
Oh
a
my
Ryan.
God.
Okay.
Okay, there is this type of cat.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
This right here.
I'm scared.
I see them on Instagram all the time.
Stop.
And when they
You need
when
to
they
stop.
when they meow, they honk.
You need to
They
stop.
honk. That is you.
Okay.
That right there. Not that color, but like what we have going on
So
here.
to give you a visual of what Julia just showed me,
This
picture
is-
a skinny owl cat with the biggest ears you've ever seen in your life.
They're called so this first word I do believe is a slur, so I'm not really sure if we're like really going in with that word, but it's like it's a short hair with like really big
you know what it
ears.
is have you ever seen Bolt, the kids animated movie,
Yeah.
the evil cat?
Look at this
No,
baby.
I'm not looking at that baby. That baby has a weird looking mustache. No.
Oh goodness.
I need you guys.
Oh my
wait.
golly, look at that.
I don't.
Oh, sting.
Yeah, picture a skinny odd cat with the biggest ears of Dumbo. That's the kind of cat that Julia just pulled out.
Look at it. No, you know
No,
what cat?
I'm
you know,
looking.
You know that cat that I sent you reels of? Her name is Macy.
Yes.
That I've never seen an animal that looks more like a person than that cat that looks like you. And she has like maybe 50 followers and she gets like 20 likes on her post. She's all over my For You page and it is you. Like
I'll take that one.
She'd be laying on her little pink couch.
Yes.
Or like she like sits with her arm like propped up on like the door. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're a cat. That is you.
That is me because I'm just so out of the box.
Right. I can't.
That cat
is so
I'll take
you.
because it's like a fluffy,
Yes.
like short, thick hair cat with like big eyes.
Yes.
And I'll take that. No.
No, this
I'm moving
I
on.
can't. They're so cute. Oh my god, that is so you.
I can't. Where are we
Love.
at with time?
Oh, hello. Let me just. Okay. We're at 57 minutes.
Okay, I have time for another one.
Yeah.
The other one I have so recently I went to Charlotte to go see a comedian perform a comedy show with my
And they
dad.
followed you on Instagram.
They did. Well, there was the main guy that I was going for, and then they had like two openers, and one of the openers followed me. But
Were they baddie or were they just?
a 40-year-old woman, so take that as you want. But
So,
she was
yes.
baddie. She was telling me to be. Actually, I can't say that. I'll tell you later.
Oh.
But in the process of that, I took my dad for
Anyway.
Christmas, and we went to a hotel to stay the night because
Yeah.
the show was the late show. So it was at 9:30 is when it started.
Oh,
On a Friday.
Lord.
So we were not driving back from Charlotte.
Absolutely not.
Because it ended at 11.
That's
we were not
bedtime.
driving, yeah. Oh my god, a picture. People just started talking in the room next to us.
Yeah,
I just was not
hello?
prepared for that.
Hey guys, we're working.
I have such a problem with hotel beds because why are the sheets tucked in? Like they're trying to save a body from
Yeah.
falling out of a plane.
That's an envelope.
Like that's an envelope because wait, I use like a specific thing my notes have. I said, how tight they be tucking in them bed sheets at a hotel? Why am I excavating my blanket?
Yes.
Like I am digging for gold, trying to get myself into that bed, and I do not know why it is a leg workout to.
Yes.
Like I feel like I'm being vacuum sealed.
And they're like like the edges are like like you will get a paper cut
No,
from that thing.
seriously. But then
Yes.
alongside that, so I don't really necessarily like that. But also,
Right.
why are we adding in a decorative half sheet at the end of the bed for all of them? It's always like
And
that one like brown like.
Yes, and you know they don't be washing those decorative things, so you know there's germs.
Why are we putting a blanket on top of a blanket that's not actually being used, and it's the feeling of leather?
And something that I just like really have a hard time with hotel beds is, you know what people have been doing on them things?
Yeah, I choose not to.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
Nope.
That just does not sit well with me. Like
no.
like maybe
There's way too many documentaries with black lights that I've
no, that's
seen.
like, oh, I can't even think about that.
I'd choose not to.
I can't even.
I'd
I
choose not to.
I just pretend like I'm like hovering above the sheets. Like they're not. There's like a pocket of air around me that's like I'm not touching them.
There is.
Yeah.
I'm going in with sheets. The loose sheet. What's the cover sheet? Oh wait, there's a name for it. The flat sheet. So it's like not the one that. Not the fitted sheet, but like that one loose one that goes on top of it. I hate those. I've never used them and I think they're stupid.
I don't use them either.
I think they're stupid. I don't understand what the point of it is, because why am I getting on top of my fitted sheet, right? Which is just like a blanket for my bed.
Right.
To put a sheet on, to put a blanket on.
Right.
I don't want the sheet always gets kicked to my feet. It always makes me like weirdly sweaty. Like I feel like I don't it's weird texture. Like I just feel like I have a pillowcase on top of me. But not in the pillowcase, but on top of it.
One thing about me is in order to sleep, I must have some fuzzy blanket to hold on to. And so I don't have a top sheet. I just have a fuzzy blanket and then my comforter on top.
Yeah.
Because I need the fuzz. I need like it. Like I need it. I always
have to like hold part of my comforter in my arms. Or I have these like, I have a stuffed animal that's in my bed that I've had since childhood. And I have these two like, my dad used to travel a lot for work. And one of the places he had to go was Hawaii. And while he was there, he got those like wrap blankets that you're supposed to use as like a skirt in Hawaii. But I have two of them that I use them as like my snuggle blankets, like that children walk around with, kind of like that aesthetic. I've had them since I was like 5.
Okay, one thing about me is this is like kind of spiraling into a whole little like shebang, but I sleep with my hands like this, like but
could you describe that to everybody who doesn't know what you just did?
Sorry. I like my hands are in little fists and they're right below my chin.
Yeah.
And I just sleep like that. But also, you know, like your hands are together in like the praying thing and they're like under one side of your bed. I also sleep like that. And that reminds me that I'm like, oh my God, this is like low-key a little bit embarrassing, but
this is a safe space.
Thank you.
Unless you're being called a big-eared cat.
I think that. Anyway, one thing about me is this: on 3 separate occasions on first dates, I have fallen asleep.
Oh,
and like this. I've fallen asleep like this.
See, that is a danger concern for me. That is a safety concern, falling asleep on a first date.
No, and it like low-key, yes, but I like best believe I vet these individuals before I go in.
No,
I would never
I trust your opinion.
Right, I'm not able to fall asleep when I'm around people that I don't feel safe with. But one thing about me is on this first date, I'm not even sleeping over. It's just at some point, if there's a couch, I'm like this. My hands are folded under my head. I'm down. At least, like, last first date I went on, 20-minute nap, woke up and I was like, hey! And they were like, hey, how was your nap? And I was like, it was great. Thank you for asking. Like, thank you. Like, that bed was pretty comfy. Thank you.
I always do the leg thing where I make the 4 with my legs.
I do that as well. Yep.
Every night.
Big stretch. Yep.
Big stretch.
Love. Yeah, no, I love sleeping. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so cozy.
Another one of the things that I always hit is making sure to follow us on the Instagram and DMing us any questions that you want to hear about.
I didn't even see that one coming.
Thank
I did not even get that.
Oh my God. It's my like...
Season 2 is like,
I always try and see if I can
at
get Julia. But make sure to follow us on Instagram at TWTSpod. Our individual accounts are also linked in the bio of the Instagram. Please tell us any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, and ideas that you have. We are very excited about season 2. There's a lot of things coming this season.
Yeah,
we're very, very excited. We're excited for the new intro, the new cover, the new everything, new year, new us. So yeah, we're here to tell you the truth
because they don't always get it right.
Bye, guys. Bye.